Hey everybody, it's Rick Claus here at Microsoft Ignite, and I'm chatting with some customers during the event, and I'm sitting here with Dave Rich from CSX, right?
That's right, Rick. Appreciate it.
That's the train company and logistics and, and everything.
It is. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about yourself and about the company, how it works, and then we'll get into some more tech stuff too.
Sounds good. Thanks for taking time out. So I'm Dave Rich, like you said before. I've been with the company for 24 and a half years now.
Okay.
Started off really kind of the software development space and really done just about every job at CSX. Only a little bit of time to disappoint on the offside, but a little time there was great. What about CSX? CSX is it's been a wonderful company to be at. Actually, we've had a lot of opportunities to do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
We are the largest freight railroad company on the eastern seaboard of the United States.
Okay.
It's about 20,000 miles of track, 40,000 switches and control points, a lot of data, a lot of IoT, and about 23,000 employees, and we're all the way up in Canada in your part. So,
nice. It's awesome stuff. So I heard that we had a conversation before we started doing this little chat, and you're talking about a migration you just recently went through.
We did.
And the concept was basically moving the workloads and the data closer up into the Azure environment to be able to then go and start to use AI.
That's right.
AI.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what actually happened and then some other things about the applications.
Yeah, sure. So story was interesting, right? So we were really looking at the cloud to kind of enable certain capabilities. We were dabbling in Google and AWS. We played a little in Snowflake and had an opportunity. I've got a new supervisor, Steve Fortune, who started well over a couple of years ago, and he actually worked at BP for 30 years.
Yeah.
I said, hey, look, we've got a wonderful relationship with Microsoft. I've seen a lot of things there, and kind of pushed us to really think differently about our strategy. And so what we did is just said, hey, look, we think there's a lot of power in kind of focusing in one place. And we went through an exhaustive comparison analysis in the clouds, and we really felt that Microsoft was the right place for us.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah. So, and the reason why, honestly, is because our goal is not for IT to be the center of the universe for everyone, right? We want to be able to democratize and kind of put that capability out there for all of our customers, right? So we felt that this is really the best platform to do that.
Yeah.
So our journey was like, hey, look, we actually built out a journey map, probably 3 to 5 years. Very expensive to try to move things over methodically, go through some what I call transformation of the applications themselves and the capabilities in the process. We're like, look, at the end of the day, we want to be able to empower our customers, move things faster, and take advantage of, you just said AI, right?
Yeah.
All of the AI capabilities. So we felt pretty strongly our best path was to get there as fast as possible, move the workloads there, thousands of workloads that were shifted. So we started in April of this year. And in August of this year, we finished the final formal set, and we just did a cleanup operation over the last weekend to get the last of 300 or so workloads into the cloud. Just pretty impressive.
So you're talking like 6 months-ish time frame.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay,
pretty accelerated, yeah.
So this was basically, I'm assuming, the first stage of kind of like a lift and shift and get them up there, make sure everything's all working.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Now, I'm assuming you've now started to take the second step or more and started to refactor your apps to take advantage of this. Talk to me a little bit about what's been going on there.
Yeah, sure. So our first path, like you said, is to really kind of go to the closest in kind technology. So like, for example, we moved to like AVS for the VMware side.
Right.
We moved to ARO for the others. But what we're doing kind of behind the scenes is we're starting to plan out a couple of things. One, how do we look at the business world, right? So, and what are the capabilities we want to unlock? And then how do we find the matching technologies? And so what we're doing is we're either going to Azure first, or certainly the Azure Marketplace to find those native tech to enable that stuff faster.
Yeah.
It's been pretty incredible. Maybe one story that's been interesting for us is rail safety is absolutely paramount in what we do, right? So one of the things that we were looking at is like, traditionally, for probably 20 years, we've been kind of ahead of the curve, us and some partner railroads, at looking at beyond it just, so when a train passes a location, right, we take measurements of the wheels, of the track and everything in that place to try to look to see is something abnormal, the temperatures of wheels and things like this. But we thought, 20 years ago, there's got to be a better way. So we started looking at things like trending and looking at different patterns of wear. But what we found is through our partnership with Microsoft Azure, with others, Palantir, that what we can actually do is we could look at historical data in a different way. So what we would have to do in the past is take that information, make new rules, and then wait for some period of time to see how they would be impacted, right?
Okay.
With the power of the cloud and what we were able to do with Azure, we can now write new rules rerun them back in time for, call it 3 months, 6 months,
Okay.
immediately. So within like hours, we can actually see how performant those new rules will be and put safety regulations into place significantly faster than we've been able to before. It's been pretty huge.
So basically you're being much more proactive at being able to determine
That's right.
potential failure in different areas, whereas before you had to be reactive on stuff.
Exactly right. Yeah, you'd have to wait for some incident to happen. So now we can actually, through partnerships with other rails and through this technology, we can be much more proactive.
And I can't even imagine the scale, just the size. You were talking about all those millions of miles of track that you have in it.
That's right. Yeah. So you got 20,000 miles of track with data points along the way, the entire way. Plus you've got every locomotive. So call it 3,000 locomotives that are talking every second, So how do you make sense of that information and data? And how do we partner better for our customers to give them better real-time information and tracking about what is where and what are the ETAs going to be? So we're decent at that today. We can kind of get an idea based on the relationship between the cars that are on the train and the locomotive itself. But what we want to be able to do is get better predictive information out to our customers. So, hey, look, based on this situation or weather patterns or things like this, we actually think we're probably going to be 2 hours late.
Yeah.
But if we tell them in advance, we find that partnership works well. Hey, tell me about it. And if I can do that, then I can plan my workforce to be able to accommodate it. So we're starting to partner, looking at different patterns and analysis to be able to do a much better job of it for our customers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. One last question for you.
Sure.
Thinking about what you've been through so far, it's been a fast time frame, 6 months, and then you've already taken some examples of being able to modernize applications and refactor them.
That's right.
What are some challenges you came up against, and what would you give people as advice to get around those challenges?
It's funny, Rick, you asked a question, it hits to the heart, right? So I think what we found is that the journey is not an IT journey, right? So I know a lot of times it feels that way.
Okay.
But being very inclusive with the entire business, pulling everyone in and having a really rock solid communication plan, pulling our different, the operations team, the commercial team, our back office and G&A teams, making them be part of not just the awareness, but the decision making. Like, hey, look, we know we're going to have some periods, we're going to have some outages, have some issues. How do we best work with you to do that? And maybe kind of brainstorming outside of IT to look at alternatives, different solutions. Well, what if you could do something different? And really having that partnership is huge. I can't overemphasize that enough.
Yeah.
Pulling those folks in and understanding that. And then I think the other thing too is don't have fear. I mean, there's so many capabilities that the cloud offers. I think a lot of companies like ours we're 3 years away from being a 200-year-old company now.
Okay.
Very, very traditional thinking for what we've done.
True.
And so I think for some of those companies that have been around a long time, a lot of industrial and call it logistics companies, like take some chances. The folks that aren't taking chances aren't going to be able to innovate, and you're not going to be able to keep up and match what we're finding our customers are even innovating right now too. So how do we maybe share information? How do we share those transformation paths, even with our customers? Because there may be shared learning and things that you can take advantage of that we never even thought of before. So
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot for one more, just
Perfect.
for the heck of it. Any breakouts at Microsoft Ignite that you'd actually recommend someone go and take a look at because they're available on demand from the site?
Absolutely. Keynote was amazing today. Absolutely amazing. So definitely catch that. I've got to put a shameless plug. CSX is doing a couple things. So today we're talking about our data transformation, how we're moving over to Microsoft Fabric, really unlocking a lot of capabilities. And I would say there's going to be some lessons learned for a lot of folks to pick up there. And I would say there's some also really cool stuff that CSX is doing right now, taking advantage of Copilot Studio, things that we were having to hand crank a year ago, 6 months ago. We're now finding the advances that Microsoft are making and the investments of billions of dollars that they're putting in the platforms are really kind of negating the need to spend so much of our engineering time and kind of shifting that mindset of how do you take advantage of that. So we're going to be putting together kind of a session around that. So Copilot Studio, a lot of our lessons learned and how we're enabling our business to take advantage of a lot more tools. So
awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Dave.
Thanks, Rick.
It's been great chatting with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us here at Microsoft Tonight, and we'll catch you next time.
Good. Take care.